It's very early in the morning. We're sighted out west of Whitefish, and this train very rarely is stopped at all for anything other than a crew change. So it's been pretty fast ride. I was hoping to come through here a little later in the morning for better footage, but as the sun comes up, that'll get better. Anyway, my buddy that was traveling along, Steven, hopped off at Whitefish. He had a job he had to get to, and I'm headed on trying to figure out if this train's going to Seattle or Portland. Either one works for me. I'm fine with it, but I have gotten word that they're working security pretty heavy at some of the yards along the way, Spokane and Wenatchee. So we'll see what happens. So far so good, but that can change in an instant. It can be get your shit and get off the train, But anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen. We're getting ready to go through the Flathead Tunnel, the second longest tunnel in the U.S., and that'll be an interesting thing. I've got my gator, and hopefully that'll help filter out some of the particulates in the exhaust. But we shall find out. So I'm gonna jump in here. So right after Lake Pend Oreille, it's not very far into Spokane, and the train pulled into Spokane, and like they often do, did some work in the yard there. But I was pretty far back on that train, and I heard this, and I knew that my cars had been separated from the train. I was hoping they'd just pick up a few cars and hook everything back up, but that wasn't the case. As I was sitting there under my pig, I could hear machinery operating and getting closer and closer. Finally, I poked my head out, and it was a giant machine picking up semi-trailers off of the flat cars, and it was only 2 away from me, so I had to bail. And I got off the left side of the train. Luckily, nobody saw me. I managed to hide in a row of double stacks on the track next to it for a little while, and then I scared the crap out of a worker who didn't know I was on there. And anyway, long story short, after determining that they were going to unload those 2, I just asked him how to get out of the yard, and I beat it out of there as fast as I could. So I rode around in the buses all day, got an all-day pass just to keep cool because it was really hot, and tried to figure out what I was going to do because I don't know Spokane, and it's way bigger than I thought it was. And I could see this was going to be a difficult catch-out, and especially railroad yards at night and sketchy parts of town, and you can picture the whole thing. Anyway, I decided that my best bet was to go ahead and take Amtrak that night into Seattle. It'd get me there in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning or something. So my adventure on the train kind of came to a bit of a premature end as far as not making it to Seattle or Portland. That train I was on, by the way, was headed to Portland. But my adventure didn't end there. I went to Seattle, and on the way I used Priceline or one of those, hotels.com, whatever, I don't remember now. But anyway, I looked up hotel rooms and I sorted them by price, and at the top of the list was a $50 hotel room in Seattle. So it's like, I just need a place to crash, long enough to spend a day and get on Amtrak the next day, right? So I booked this $50 hotel room, fully expecting it to be a closet in a sub-basement of a basement of an abandoned building in Seattle or something. So I get there and I Uber over to my hotel, and I realize this thing's right downtown, man. It's like right where the public market is. It's 105 Pike Street. And oh my God, man, $50. So I go in, and the first thing is, instead of walking into a hotel lobby, I open the door and I'm going up a flight of stairs. Okay, so up the stairs I go. There's a line at the check-in, and it's definitely different, but I'm not really paying much attention other than looking at the other people ahead of me and listening to their conversation. And the desk clerk lady is trying to explain to the people that, no, you have bunk beds. You're sharing this room, And then I'm like, oh. And then I look a little closer and I realize the word isn't hotel. It's hostel. I've booked a room in a hostel. And, so I'm in a room. It's a co-ed room with 6 bunk beds, and it was friggin' awesome, man. So I'm there with a bunch of people from all over the world, and they fed us dinner that night. And then they have activities. So the activity for that night was a bar crawl. So the employees of the hostel took a bunch of us on a bar crawl with a bunch of people from all over the world. It was incredible. It was such a blast, And then in the morning, they feed you breakfast, and they let you leave your bags there. So you can go wander all over town. When it's time for you to go get on your plane or whatever, you come back, get your bags, and get your ride to the airport, or in my case, the train station, and head out, So, oh my God, it was fantastic. So between the incredible scenery, the enjoying the company of the photographer from LA, Steven Perilloux, and the unbelievable, stunning beauty after Whitefish. Wow. Oh my God, that is incredible. Yeah.
I hope to do this again, you know, and maybe one year I will make it all the way to Portland or Seattle. But in the meantime, oh my God, what a blast. What a blast. Anyway, thanks for watching.